So we need some exhaust flanges for that motor. We could buy some, like that one piece one we had that's kind of ugly, where we could make some cool ones out of stainless. So I have a piece of 3/8" stainless, and I have a pattern that came off I just cut it off a flathead motor, a engine stand that ran off the exhaust ports. So I have a basic shape. So this kind of technique you could apply to anything, just doing this transfer punch, bandsaw. A lot of people think, this one looks like it was cut on a water jet. Really, you don't need all that stuff. All you need is a bandsaw and a drill press, which you could probably borrow from someone. So to make cool, kind of nice machined looking parts, I'll show you guys some tricks to how I got by and did it for years. So, and this is a marking fluid, so when I scratch it, it'll leave a mark, so I know right where I need to be. When you're punching stuff though, you should have a firm surface, because punches usually don't dig in unless they have a firm backing. So, and when I try to clamp stuff on the material, I try to clamp it so, if I need a flat edge, or like a straight edge, use the material so you have less bandsaw cuts and that type of thing. Now we need 6 of these for the project, so we got to make sure we gang them up on them. You also have to use the flat edge, but you also have to make sure they're clocked in there so you can get the maximum amount of pieces out of your material. So what I'll do is just take the scribe and scratch around there. And try not to do double scratches, because it never fails when you do a double scratch that the line will end up in 2 different places depending on your angle or how you're dragging it. So it's good, just do one perfect one and then leave it at that. So transfer punch. This has got the exact hole we need, which is 1/2 inch, and that has a little punch on the center of it. So you take the transfer punch, and they usually come in sets like this, and you can get the made in China sets, work good, for how much you use them, and they're cheap. You get a set for $20-30. This is probably for a fabricator. This is probably your most used tool, I think. You just go to the art store and just get a circle template, and man, I wear them out. I have to get new ones. So what we need is 1 3/8" holes. And so what you can do, there's straight lines on this, just line them up with our transfer holes and line them up in the middle. Make a little scribe where your lines are on your circle template, and that'll help us find the center. We'll take a scale, lay it over those lines that we just did, make a little X in the middle. There's our center. Take your transfer punch, or your center punch. And that's that. Let's make these holes first. So I have an iron worker that I can just pop those holes in, which is cool, or you could just use a drill press, which is fine. You just got to make sure you start slow and then step up the drills, but let's just pop those, and then I'll show you how to broach it. Yeah, it's a Piranha iron worker. It has a punch, a break, a shear, an angle iron shear, and a notcher. And it's an awesome machine. One. This is stainless, so it's a little tougher. Steel would push right through there and not even make a noise. But stainless is... Two. I see a lot of guys having problems where they can't cut holes and stuff, or make a round hole in sheet metal, or or you have to have it machined on a turntable or whatever. What I use, which has been a trick for years, is I use rota broaches, and this is just a Milwaukee broach, and it has a carbide tip on it. And what this does is this is for electrical contractors, when they need to put a hole in the side of an electrical box. They use these broaches to cut a perfect hole, and then they have the little clamp that grabs the wire and then sets itself inside the hole. But these things are super durable and pretty precision. So this is 1 3/8 inches. This is the size we need for the exhaust port. And so we'll use this in the bridge port, but you can easily use this in a drill press. You just have to make sure you clamp your work down really good so it doesn't walk around, but these things will bore a straight hole pretty fast. You just got to be careful, especially stainless chips, man. This stuff, it'll like grab you and pull you into it. Aside from the tool being a little dull, it's pretty painless to cut a... Oh. This is always the tedious part, working the bandsaw, especially on stainless or anything thick. You just got to be patient and let the blade work, because you'll knock the blade off the guides, or you'll knock teeth off the blade if you're too impatient. When I cut it, I don't cut right on the line. I stay just like a 1/16 away. That way when you sand it, you could sand it perfect right on the line. So if you cut it right on the line and then you sand the saw marks off it, then it makes it too small. So if you stay, give yourself a little extra meat, 1/16 or so off the line, then it makes a cleaner part in the end. Use this wood to push so you don't push it with your knuckles, because that hurts. Shoot. There you go. So we'll trim these up in the nibbler and then sand it up, and then we should almost have a bracket. We're just trimming off the exit, getting it close, and then I'll sand it into shape. Don't go too nuts, because you still want to keep your original bracket shape. I mean, that would be sufficient to work, if you wanted to use it, but what we'll do is we'll dress it even more, and then people won't even know how we made it. They'll think it was like some kind of manufactured in China or something. Also keeps the surface flat, so when you mount it to the head with the gasket, you don't have any ripples or nothing like that that's gonna screw up the way it seals up the exhaust. So, and then we'll use the round part of the sander to take these bandsaw marks and grind marks out of it. And I'll break the edge on the outer face. So this is the outside of the motor, so it'll kind of give it a soft look. Done. Yeah, and it looks like machined parts, but that's how I built my business, or got my name, is by, I didn't have any money. I just used what I got, and made it look like I had some expensive shop do it, but I just did it myself in my garage, So that's that, I'm pretty fast at that type of stuff, but you could apply this to that kind of technique for making stuff, it's pretty simple. I think the hardest thing about this is having that that rotary broach setup, you know, we could have drilled the stud holes easy, but having that big, perfect 1 3/8 hole, you know, and having a cutter that'll cut it precision, fast, without having some crazy machine shop op, that's it right there.